Susie and Jonathan have endured an exhausting and painful journey in their fight for justice for their daughter. They never imagined their family would face such hardship, but when the truth was buried and injustice prevailed, they knew they couldn't stay silent. Despite being physically and emotionally drained, they stood firm, determined to uncover the truth and hold those responsible accountable. Step by step, they searched for evidence, faced powerful opposition, and encountered roadblocks at every turn. There were moments of despair, times when they felt like they were battling an endless storm, but their love for their daughter fueled their determination. Every time a door was slammed in their faces, they found another way forward, refusing to let fear or exhaustion stop them. They knew that justice might be delayed, but it could never be denied forever. With unwavering faith and relentless perseverance, they believed the truth would come to light, and their daughter would receive the justice she deserved. No matter how long or difficult the road ahead, they vowed never to stop fighting until justice was served. Jonathan just dropped an absolute bombshell in a letter to John, pulling back the curtain on the shocking, behind-the-scenes turmoil at Daystar. The revelations are darker than anyone could have imagined, exposing a deeply personal and painful conflict with his mother, Joni, and her new husband, Doug. From threats of being ousted from the ministry to chilling displays of spiritual manipulation, Jonathan's account paints a harrowing picture of a family torn apart by betrayal, power struggles, and unshakable convictions. One of the most jaw-dropping moments? Joni took things to an unimaginable level, claiming that if her late husband Marcus Lamb were still alive, he would have kicked Jonathan's butt for daring to stand against her. But that was only the beginning. Jonathan also details a heartbreaking moment that no family should ever have to endure. In an attempt to justify her actions, Joni shockingly brought up the trauma of Jonathan and Susie's daughter being sexually assaulted. Then, in a cruel twist, she blamed Susie, the grieving mother, for trying to destroy the family over it. The callousness of this accusation is staggering, revealing just how far Joni is willing to go to protect her own agenda. But the revelations don't stop there. Jonathan describes a harrowing ambush. He and Susie were blindsided and verbally attacked for refusing to compromise their convictions. Instead of support, they were mocked, threatened, and warned that their careers were on the line if they didn't fall in line. Rather than respecting their stance, Joni and her allies turned on them with a vengeance, making it clear that obedience, not integrity, was the price of staying in Daystar's good graces. And then comes the most chilling part, Joni's blatant dismissal of Susie's claim against a family member, Pete. Instead of showing concern or seeking the truth, Joni immediately shut down the allegations, insisting Pete was innocent without so much as an investigation. No accountability, no justice, just silence and denial, as if the real problem wasn't what had happened, but rather that Susie dared to speak up at all. Jonathan and Susie had already been told to submit and never talk about this again. They did as they were told, staying quiet and trying to move forward. But apparently, silence wasn't enough. Susie was branded prideful. She was called evil. And for what? For refusing to betray her convictions in exchange for forced loyalty. And then came the final ultimatum. Joni delivered the crushing words, "If you won't read a nice comment about Doug, I don't want you here. You're gone. You're fired." Think about that. Susie was fired for refusing to publicly praise a man she knew had abandoned his wife, wrecked marriages with his twisted counseling, and whose teachings included the outrageous claim that Jesus died so we could have great sex. When Jonathan refused to follow suit, he was next in line for the chopping block. But Joni wasn't finished. She didn't just want obedience, she wanted absolute submission. She went as far as comparing Jonathan to Doug's children, proudly boasting that at least they still respected Doug. And then she delivered the ultimate gut punch. If Marcus Lamb were alive today, he would have punished Jonathan for standing against her. Joni wasn't just trying to justify her actions, she was rewriting the narrative, painting Jonathan as the villain for daring to question her. She claimed she was happier than ever with Doug, even more so than with Marcus. But at what cost? A marriage built on manipulation and control? A ministry torn apart? A son and daughter-in-law cast aside for choosing their convictions over blind submission? The Bible is clear. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. Ephesians 5:11. Jonathan and Susie stood firm, refusing to be silenced, even in the face of threats, manipulation, and betrayal. Now, the question lingers. How deep does this go? Can Daystar ever recover from this level of deceit? And if Marcus Lamb were alive today, what would he say about it all? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Joni Lamb's journey is a testament to resilience, faith, and the unyielding power of perseverance. Born into a devout Christian family in Greenville, South Carolina, she grew up with a deep-rooted belief that faith could move mountains. Little did she know, she would one day have to climb some of the tallest ones herself. In 1982, Joni married Marcus Lamb, and together they envisioned a ministry that would reach millions. With nothing but a dream and unwavering faith, they built the Daystar television network from the ground up, facing daunting financial struggles and moments of uncertainty. But surrender was never an option. They pressed on, believing that their mission was divinely guided, and over time, their perseverance bore fruit. Daystar became one of the largest Christian television networks in the world, touching lives across continents. Their love and partnership, however, were tested in ways they never expected. In 2010, their marriage faced its darkest hour when Marcus confessed to an extramarital affair. It was a moment that could have shattered everything they had built, but Joni, embodying grace and strength, chose the path of forgiveness. Instead of letting their pain define them, they sought healing. They spoke openly about their struggles, leaned into their faith, and rebuilt their relationship on a foundation even stronger than before. Through their transparency, they became a beacon of hope for countless others facing their own battles. But life was not done testing Joni's strength. In 2021, the unimaginable happened. Marcus succumbed to complications from COVID-19. Losing the love of her life after nearly 4 decades together was a grief beyond words. Yet even in her sorrow, Joni did what she had always done. She pressed forward. She took the helm of Daystar, carrying on the vision she and Marcus had shared, ensuring that their mission of spreading faith and encouragement would continue. Her resilience in the face of such loss was nothing short of extraordinary. Then, when it seemed that her heart could bear no more, life surprised her yet again. In June 2023, Joni found love once more and married Dr. Doug Weiss, a psychologist with a passion for healing. It was a beautiful reminder that even after the deepest heartbreak, joy can find a way back into our lives. Her story is proof that endings can also be beginnings, and that faith has a way of leading us exactly where we need to be. Joni Lamb's life is not just a story of survival, it is a story of triumph. She has weathered life's most turbulent storms and emerged stronger, with a message that echoes far beyond the walls of Daystar. No matter how great the challenge, faith, perseverance, and an open heart will always light the way. For those walking through their own valleys, Joni's journey is a powerful testament that even in the darkest of nights, the dawn will come again.